In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. Let's get into it. So when it comes to creating a YouTube setup, you first just want to pay close attention to your lighting. And you want to make sure that the person on camera, if that's yourself or if that's somebody else, just make sure they've got enough light on their face. So let me turn on the first light in this space and I'll show you how much of a difference this one light can make. So as you can see, turning on this one light has made a massive difference. Now the light that I'm using is a softbox light. This specific one is a Godox SL60W. Now you don't have to have this specific light, just adding in a soft source of light from the one side is going to give you a really nice look in your video. Now next up we need to talk about backlight. Now at the moment the video just looks a bit flat. I'm blending in with the background. There's no real character to this. So this is where a backlight or a hair light is really going to help you out. So a backlight or a hair light is just a light just off frame up here, which is just going to catch the back of my hair. There we go. Instantly you can see how much better that looks. You can see I'm getting this light just catching the back of my hair, and already I've stood out from the background. So I've got one light up here. This is a softbox light, and then I've got a light up here just casting light onto the back of my head. And these two lights are already improving the look of this shot dramatically. Now at the moment this shot does look fine. It looks better than it did before. It looks so much better than when we first started, but there's no color and there's no character. So this is why I'm going to start playing with colored lighting and practical lighting to add a bit of character behind me back here. So first of all, I'll start by turning on a strip light that I've installed behind this unit. These lights are £20 strip lights from Amazon that I've just stuck to the back of this unit, and it's instantly adding a lot of character onto that back wall. But we can go one step further. So these lights up here are the Yongnuo YN360 strip lights. I've got 4 of them. The 4th one is currently out of frame at the moment. But you can see I've got 3 of them mounted onto the wall and they're adding more color into this space. There are, however, 2 more things that I like to do to this setup to complete this look. So the first one is this practical light back here. And the next one is an iPad with my logo, and that's just going to give us more depth into the scene. So as you can see, turning this light on in the background is giving just a little bit more character, and then seeing this logo in the background is really awesome because we can see that in cam A, and we can also see it in cam B, just out of focus in the background. And then of course the last step is to just turn off the actual room lights. I've got these ugly orange tungsten lights in the room, so I'm just going to turn those off. Now I'm not saying that this setup is the best setup. I'm not saying that you have to copy everything. I'm not saying you have to have the 3 lights up there with some color lights at the back and some props and everything. I'm not saying that at all. You can be creative and just make something that looks great, but pay close attention to 2 things. Pay close attention to yourself or the person on camera. Make sure they've got a good front light and a good back light. And make sure you're using video lights and not relying on natural lights. The problem when it comes to relying on natural light or relying on windows when it comes to filming YouTube videos is the sun can dip behind clouds, and this means your shot will instantly go from bright to dark to bright to dark, and this can get really annoying really quickly. Especially if you're doing a video like this where you're in the one space and you're just talking to camera, it can get quite annoying. So like the person talking on camera correctly with lights, so one light up here, one light behind, and then think about your background. And then one of my biggest tips that I would always give to somebody creating a space is try your best to get your subject away from the wall. So as you can see, if I was all the way back there, this would look very flat and very boring if you zoomed into this and this was the frame. But by coming forward and adding at least a meter behind myself and the background, it helps to add a layer of depth, and that just makes everything look more interesting and not so flat. If you wanted to as well, then you can also add in a second camera as well to add a different angle. You can talk between the 2 cameras if you wanted to, or you can just cut to the B cam whenever you want to make a cut. Jump cuts can often be quite jarring, especially if you're cutting quite frequently. So having another camera angle to cut to is nice, but it's not essential. So to sum up, use soft lighting in front of your subject to light their face. Use a hard light back here to add this nice separation from the background. Pay close attention to what's behind you. Add props, colors, and branding back there to help to reinforce your message about who you are and what you're offering on your YouTube channel. Add some depth between your subject and the background, and then never rely on natural light because it can change and that can get really annoying. And there you go. Those are my top tips for making a dynamic YouTube setup. Now, building a setup can take a long time and it takes a lot of experimentation, moving lights into different positions, adding different props into the background or taking props out, using different colors. It's all a big experiment. So just experiment with your setup and try and find something that you like the look of on camera. Now, it's also worth noting as well that not everybody has access to a studio or an office which they can convert into a YouTube studio. I'm completely aware of that. It was only recently that I actually moved into a 2-bedroom apartment and I was able to turn the 2nd bedroom into a YouTube studio. But for the longest time, I was just filming these in my living room or in my bedroom, and I was using all of these tips to help build custom sets that look really nice on camera. So there you go. Those are my top tips for making a YouTube setup and making your YouTube videos look more dynamic with minimal effort. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate your support, and hopefully I will see you on the next video. See you there.